Hi, cuties. I'm Lanikia, and this is Soap and Entertainment News for the day. It is May the 11th, 2023. All right, guys, let's get started on this. First of all, if you haven't already watched Days of Our Lives, the recaps to all of the soaps are up. Days, General Hospital, Young and the Restless, as well as The Bold and the Beautiful. Um, as far as days, I'm looking forward to the storyline with Paulina, Sloan, Talia. I think this is a really great storyline, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. I did like the fact that Sloan sees her brother for who he is, and she told him, let's move on because that's something that we've all been saying in the comments that we wish Sloan would move on, and it looks like today she's actually told her brother that as well. We know how everything is, but let's go ahead and start moving on. um, as far as healing, it doesn't mean that we forget what Chanel and Paulina did to our family, our parents, but we we want to be sure that that we don't let it stunt our growth in life, but we don't have to forget. So I appreciated Sloan for that on Days of Our Lives today, and I really enjoyed it. We also saw Nicole is still not letting anyone know that she is pregnant. So, and I saw the comments, and some of you were like, "Well, maybe it's because she's afraid she won't carry it to full term. So why get EJ and Eric all into it if that's what ends up happening?" And I understand that as well. But I mean, it makes for a storyline, so we'll see what happens with that. And Jada is still thinking, that Talia is, on one hand, she believes Talia is the person who is doing all this, but then on another hand, she doesn't want to believe it because who wants to think their sister is behind such mischief, and not even just mischief, but criminal activities. But she does know Colin is no good, so because of that, she's concerned. She's concerned if her sister is though is having any types of dealing with him. And I hope you guys can hear me. If you could give me a thumbs up, thank you so much for joining Queen of the South and Sandy. Because I'm using, instead of using my mic, I'm using a headset. Um, so thank you so much for joining. Hi, Jane Doe. So that is pretty much it with Days of Our Lives. Just giving a wrap up. If you guys could give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. So then we have the Young and the Restless, which I feel like this Sally, Adam, as well as Sally storyline, the Adam storyline, as well as the Nick storyline is kind of getting played out for me. So now she's going to go back and be with um, Nick. Excuse me, with Adam as far as working wise, she's gonna go and be with him. So I don't know. We'll just see how that all unfolds. Can you guys hear me okay? I know there's like a delay, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not. If you could give me a thumbs up, can you, if you can hear me? Uh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jane Doe, for the thumbs up. All right. So I don't know. I'm just, this whole Sally is pregnant by these two, by Adam, and then but she wants to be with Nick, but now she needs to work, and she won't take the money from Nick to invest in her own business, but she'll take Adam. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm just over this storyline at this point. And Sally is one of my favorites on here, but I don't know. I'm just over it at this point. And then as far as the whole Daniel, wanting to speak to Jack, I'm like, why don't you go speak to police? Like, if you're really trying to help your mom, why wouldn't you speak to the police? Because how is Jack going to help when he's in love with Diane, and she's on trial for this? But I guess this is how they're gonna bring Jack in, um, and maybe try to bring Phyllis back. I don't know what Young and the Restless is doing with his storyline, but we shall see. And then, of course, we have the Bold and the Beautiful, and honestly, I guess this trip is going. Thomas and Hope are going on a trip, so I guess this trip is going to help set up what's going on with the storyline as far as Hope being so in love with Thomas and wanting to be with him. I guess that's going to help set that all up. So we shall see how all of that ends up playing out. And that's pretty much it, you guys, as far as the soaps today. Oh, I'm sorry, General Hospital. So in General Hospital, I was reading everyone's comments before I came on. I'm sorry if I didn't get to everyone's, but I agree with some that. Okay, so I'm split. On one hand, I do see Trina and Spencer coming back from this trip, which was very stressful, and the adrenaline and everything. So I understand that phrase, but I also I agree with you, Sandy, what you said in the comment that you don't like seeing Spencer with Esme and Lauren with Ace and it looked like a family, because I feel like that's gonna involve in some type of way. Esme's involvement in all of this will end up causing conflict between Trina and Spencer. So I'm not looking forward to that, even though I do like these two. But you never know what could end up happening. But they have so much chemistry. I just don't see General Hospital seeing the type of love that these two get as a couple, and messing with that, destroying that. So, but we'll see, because you never know. Hi, Chloe. Thank you so much for joining. And then the Gladys storyline. I feel like Gladys really doesn't want Sasha to have this mental growth. She doesn't want her to have that, because if she has that, then where does that leave Gladys? That leaves her out, not being able to have control of her money the way she wants to. And so, thank you so much for joining. And so, because of that, Gladys is just like, she wants to still be able to control Sasha. So she's like, no, I don't think you should do that. Because everyone is saying, like, Sasha, you seem stronger. You look stronger. Do you really need this guardianship? Maybe you should look out for Gladys. Like, everyone is telling her that. So I think that's gonna come more to the forefront. And I want to get into the storyline with Gladys, Cody, and Sasha, but it's like they don't play it enough. And that would be the only thing I say about this, because y'all know Cody has not been my favorite, but him in this storyline I have been enjoying, but you see it every other week or so. Like, it's not consistently 1 or 2 days out of the week. Usually it's every other week that they'll drop them in. Um and so if it was more consistent, I would really be into this storyline. The writers like to play with us. I know they do. They like, because they know we want them together in everything. And I don't even mean it like in an intimate way. Just being that they're officially become a couple and we see them go on dates and all that kind of stuff. I would be okay, because they are young, with them taking the relationship slow. But we'll have to see. Hi Freddie, thank you so much for joining. And so let's get into um a sad story. I hated to hear this, um, but we know her as Bobby Spencer. But Jacqueline Zeman actually passed away yesterday. She had they're saying that her family is saying that she battled cancer, and it was a short battle. So this must have been something that came on a little bit unexpected for her. But we know her as playing Bobby Spencer. She actually joined One Life to Live first in 1976 to 77, and then she moved over to the sister channel in 1977, and that's where she started portraying the role of Bobby. She was actually Luke Spencer's sister on there. So Gary was her, played the role of her brother on there, and it was an iconic role. Bobby was a firecracker. And so it was an iconic role that she played, and she's been playing it for years, since 1977. She also had a role on The Bay. I don't know if you guys watched that soap opera, but they get nominated for Emmys as well. So she also played on The Bay. we kind of saw her come in and out as Bobby in the last few years. The last time I believe we saw her really was at the nurses' ball, and so it's really sad news to hear that she passed. And she's been, they've been all types of love and sent to her family today from the different soap stars past and present. So it's very sad. This was sad news to hear. Yeah. All right, guys. So now we're gonna get into the soap and entertainment news hot topics, and the first one is: did y'all know that Molly will be actually replaced? She's on General Hospital. She will be replaced just temporarily. Her name is Haley in real life, and she had a car accident. So she's recovering from her car accident. And because of this, she had scenes coming up because they're about to start a really big storyline with Christina, who again is has also been replaced. So May 22nd, we'll see more of Alexis's girls on the show, and she's going to be replaced until she recovers. She said she just needs some more time, and she's going to be replaced by Holiday May, excuse me, who is going to take over her role. Holiday Mia Kriegel, who will take over the role until Haley is back up and running from her car accident. So wishing the best for her as she, as she heals and gets. Well, I hope Haley, excuse me, Haley is back up and running. I hope it wasn't too serious and everything, but she said she's doing good. She just needed to her body has to heal after the accident. Moving on to the next hot topic. So we saw the one of the scenes that I feel like is going to be like an iconic scene for this couple was with Trina and Spencer. I believe it was on Monday where she leaped into his arms because they thought Spencer was dead. So Nicholas Chavez gave a little bit more information on that, as far as how that came about, because some people were saying that, oh, what did they use? Did they use something like did she hop on something and she leaped? Because that couldn't have been real, but I still loved it and watched it. And I still loved it and watched it over and over. So she was, yes, she does look like Haley. I still watched it over and over. Even though I think that they thought that maybe that there was some contraption or something that they were used, but he actually says no, it wasn't. They practiced the scene only one time, and that in rehearsal she was just supposed to run to him because he was supposed to have this limp and everything, which we saw a little bit. He's supposed to have this limp, and she was supposed to run to him, and they were supposed to hug, like spin in a circle, hug, and then kiss and everything. Um, but he said at the last minute, that's the scene where they're, hugging and everything. He said, but at the last minute, um, she actually leapt into his arms. So instead of just running to him, um, she actually Tabiana Ali actually leapt into his arms, like she leaped towards him, and he caught her, and then they had that scene. And I think that's why, if you looked at Jeannie Francis, she looked like, oh my gosh, like she felt like we felt when we were white. Well, at least I felt when I was watching that scene, like, oh my gosh, I love it. And it's probably because it wasn't rehearsed. She just did it, and it turned out to be a really great scene. Like I know I rewinded that. I was like, oh my gosh, Trina, that's so awesome. So I love that scene, and so it's nice to see how these kind of things happen like behind the scenes, because so many people, it sealed the deal for some people as far as Trina and Spencer being together. It sealed the deal for them. I know it did for me because I really enjoyed. All right, so the I know some people are watching the video from the beginning. So the next hot topic is Tiger Woods, y'all, because y'all know we do soaps and entertainment news. So if you have not heard, Tiger Woods is being sued. Yes, it was the best scene of the year. It so far that is the best scene for me, Sandy. So Tiger is being sued by his former girlfriend. So apparently when people people okay, so apparently she used to work for him, right? And he met her, and he liked her, and they became intimate. He made her, she said he forced her to sign this NDA, but they had a oral agreement, a verbal agreement, that even if he broke up with her, she could live in his home for 5 years, because y'all know, you know, she's been together with him for a few years, so she's accustomed to this certain lifestyle. So she says he told her, even if we break up, you can live in this home. Well, they broke up, he broke up with her, and he removed her from the home. So now she's suing him for 30 million, because, you know uh, the stress, and just, I don't know, child. Like, they get into these relationships, and they're like, um he wasn't supposed to, throw her out of the home, and so I guess she had nowhere to go. And Tiger denies all of this. He said she signed the NDA. They never had any type of agreement that she could live in the home, that she could stay. She's suing for 30 million, and then she's suing to have the NDA removed so that she could be able to sue him for 30 million. I said that this is like an expensive relationship. Yes, Sandy, all of his women sue. Like, he constantly gets in trouble with these women. It's like, but she wasn't even married to him. That's why I was so shocked by this. I'm like, but y'all are not married. But apparently, she's going after the money. So we'll see how this all turns out, if she's able to get that money. But yeah, you really have to be careful who you jump into these relationships with, whether you have money or not. But especially, it looks like if you have, some funds, you have to be really careful about that. So we'll see how it turns out. I know I'll be watching. And then we have, okay, so Kelly Clarkson. Y'all know she's moving her. She has the Kelly Clarkson show, which pretty much she took on, looks like Maggie and Dave. She does. Took on the role of that Ellen had. Although she was out at the same time as Ellen, like the first year, maybe two. Now that Ellen is gone, it's like the Kelly Clarkson show is that show. And so she's been filming in Los Angeles, and now she will be moving her show to New York because they get some kind of tax break. Now, y'all remember Kelly Clarkson had that ugly divorce where she's having to pay a lot of money to her ex, as well. But I've always been a huge fan of hers because she has such a great voice. She has such a great voice. So I've always been a huge fan. So congratulations to her on being able to be in New York and everything now. All right, guys, let's move to the next hot topic. Um, Valerie actually has a TV show on the Cooking Network. I love excuse me, on the Food Network, and so she's been on there for a few years now. But unfortunately, she announced that her show has been canceled. So her show has been canceled, and so she's not able to, so she won't be having her Food Network show anymore. So sad news about her. I watched her show a few times, but I never really got into it like that. But I wish her the best. I'm sure she'll find something else. She's a great actress as well, so I'm sure she'll find something else to go along. Who wants to live in New York, David? I no, I wouldn't. I would do LA, but not New York. All right. So moving on to the next topic. Okay, so y'all know, after TJ and Amy were pretty much fired from GMA3, they had to have replacements, and it looks like they have Eva Pilgrim and DeMarco Morgan. They will be co-anchors of GMA3, and they'll also have Dr. Jennifer Ashton on there as well. She'll be doing the medical part, but these are the new anchors for GMA3. They got the job after Amy and TJ had that huge scandal where they were caught cheating, and then they said, well, actually, we're separated from our spouses, but they just forgot to make an announcement so that when they could be in public together. But some people, that's a whole mess with those, and I talked about that on, I'm not judging, but I'm judging. So that was a whole mess with them. But congratulations to these three on getting the new position at GMA3. Congratulations to them on that. Now, if you don't remember, this football player actually had collapsed on the field. Damar Hamlin, he played for the Buffalo Bills. Um, and I believe he had a cardiac arrest on the field. And so what happened was people set up this money and they donated, and it's about $10 million. And what he's going to end up doing, instead of keeping the money, he's going to donate it to his favorite charity, which I thought was a really nice story, because they got the money for him, but he said, the bill still took care of him, and he has the funds, so he was like, I'm going to go ahead and donate this money. How can how can you get fired for sleep? Well, I mean, it depends on what your contract says. It really does. It depends on what your contract says about ethics. Sorry, David is going back to the story about the GMA crew. And if your contract has ethics in it that you can't fraternize with coworkers and those type of things, that's really what it boils down to. But anyways, I thought this was a nice story. Him donating the $10 million to his charity. So I wish him the best. I don't know if he will be playing again in the upcoming seasons. How he is health wise, but wishing him the best on that. And that was a nice thing to do. All right, guys. And oh yeah, that's another. For our last hot topic, we have do y'all remember the show The Christies? I believe I can't remember the exact name, but Julie Chrisley and excuse me, the Chrisleys, and she went to prison. Her and her husband had a reality show. And we found out that they were into a lot of fraud, Todd and Julie, bank fraud and everything. And so they ended up having a prison sentence. They had to coming back to play football. Awesome. They end up having to have a prison sentence, right? And she's not doing well in prison, which I mean, and she wishes that she had never. These are coming from sources, and again, everything I say is alleged, y'all know. But they're saying that sources are saying that she's not doing well in prison, and she has a regret, which is letting Todd talk her into committing the fraud that they did, the bank fraud, because he told her, oh, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be okay. So she listened to him, and she regrets that, because now it landed her years in prison. But you know unfortunately, some people can be manipulated, and it sounds like that's what she's saying happened to her. But whether either way, if you were a part of it, you have to pay the price. So I don't know what else to say about it on that story. And y'all, that was hot topics for today. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. As always, be safe, be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow for new entertainment and soap news. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.